So guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Red Manx TV. I hope you guys are all staying safe and sound wherever you are. And in today's video, I'll be previewing the game between West Ham United taking on Manchester United in the Premier League. So make sure you guys do smash a like on the video, leave your thoughts going into the game in the comments, and most certainly make sure to subscribe to Red Manx TV. Anyway, let's get on to the preview. So guys, Manchester United will head to the London Stadium on Saturday to take on an informed West Ham side under David Moyes, who currently sit 5th in the league, surprisingly, because of course they ended last season really badly, managed to stay up, and you know, the first two games they played, I think it's similar to Southampton. They lost or drew their first two games, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they lost both of their first two games. But then since then, they've been absolutely brilliant. They've been grinding out wins, they've been playing well, and you know, even David Moyes hasn't been there because he had COVID for some of the games, and they've been playing fantastically. So you know, they're going to be another tricky game, and we can't count them out because we can't walk into this thinking we're going to get 3 points. And I know we've been on a really good run in the Premier League, but the games they don't get any easier. So you know, we're going to have to take this one as we've taken the others, go into the game with the same mentality and try and win that game, because we need to with the position we're in, and we just need to keep on winning, keep on getting 3 points, and keep on climbing up the table, because the Premier League is our bread and butter. You know, it's what I want to do well in. It's what I think a lot of fans want Manchester United to do well in, considering where we finished last season. I know we finished third, but we didn't have a good Premier League season for me. But it's all well and good having a good Champions League run. Like, I don't mind it, but you know, will it happen? I don't know. We have to play Leipzig in our last game to have a chance, and we need to at least get a draw. So for me, we cannot set up to draw that game. We need to go out and win that game. It's going to be a hard task because Leipzig, they just beat Istanbul, so all they need now is a win. I know we need a draw or a win, but they need a win. And to be honest, right now I would say they're a better team than this. They played a better football. They're more attractive, and they have a lot of quality. Not saying we don't, because I feel that Manchester United have a lot of quality, but we don't really see it that often, in my opinion. Like Martial, Rashford, Bruno, Pogba, all on their day can be absolutely brilliant, and they haven't all started the season well. Obviously Bruno Fernandes, he has, but the other three, you know, haven't been how we expected them to be. So that's going to be a really tricky game, and it's crunch time for United in the Champions League now, because you know, against Leipzig, going away to them, it's going to be a tricky game, so anything can happen. But you know, I'm all for Champions League run, but you know, majority of fans and people who are Manchester United fans expect a good Premier League run, and I hope we do get that this season, and it needs to continue, because our form in the Premier League recently has been very good. We've been beating West Brom, we beat who was it, Everton 1-0, we came back from 2-0 down against Southampton to win the game, and we have to move on to this one. And you know, the games don't get any easier. They won't get any easier in the Premier League, because in my opinion, every game in the Premier League is a difficult game. You know, going against Fulham, going against Sheffield United, going against Burnley, they're all tricky games. You'd go into them expecting to get 3 points, but for me, you know, you can't count out any game really. You can't just guarantee yourself 3 points in any game, because that's not realistic in my opinion. They're all tricky games. So you know, against West Ham, I'm hoping to get the 3 points. I'm expecting it, but it's going to be a real tough game, and you know, I feel West Ham will come at us, because you know, fair play to them. In the past, they have gotten the better of us. Last season, they beat us, I think, 2-0 at their place. They got a draw out of us at our place. So you know, they're a real bogey team for Manchester United, and they do have some players that will hurt us, and I'll get onto that a bit later. But yeah, as I said, I do expect to win this game. I hope we can get 3 points, and we have to continue this league form, and we need to just kick on again, because, you know, getting a win against Southampton, yes, it was a hard game. It wasn't easy. It wasn't a convincing performance. But for me, I did feel we did deserve to at least get a point, and I'm thankful we won that game, because I think we needed to try and keep up with the teams like Chelsea and Spurs. And we do have a game in hand as well. And if we win that right now, I think we go third or fourth with that game in hand if we were to play it now. So, you know, when that comes along, we need to win that game. I think that's pretty vital now, that game in hand, and we're lucky we have that, really, because I feel if we played that game at the start of the season against Burnley, we probably would have lost or drew that game. So, you know, I'm glad that has been put to later in the season. But you know, let's get into my team for the game. So in goal, I'm going to go with obviously David De Gea, of course. Henderson, for me, I don't think he will start. He'll only start when David De Gea is injured or you know, unfit or something like that. So don't expect him to be in anytime soon, even though, you know, I feel he would deserve a run. But De Gea in net, and I'm going to go with the same defence as usual. Telles on the left, Wan-Bissaka on the right, and Lindelof and Maguire at centre back. I'm going to go with what formation do I go with? Do I go with the diamond? Do I go with the 4-2-3-1? Yeah, I'm going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. I think that's what Ole is comfortable with and what he feels can get results. I'm going to go with Van der Beek and Fred. I feel Fred, obviously had a poor PSG game, It was probably one of his worst games he's played in the United shirt, but, he does help us in that midfield. He does provide energy, and he provides a lot more than the likes of McTominay for me and Matic. But, Fred offers more than Matic going forward for me. So, and with Van der Beek in there, obviously we know how good he is. We know he can play box to box. He can get forward, he can get back. So I think I'm going to go with them two. It is a risk because, as I said, we don't have that defensive solidity. But, against West Ham, who are, they have good attacking players. But for me, I do think if we go with this, it may be a risk, but I do think we may be let down. But I'm going to go with it anyway. So I'm going to go with Van der Beek and Fred, but maybe expecting McTominay or Matic in there instead of one of those two. Because for me, if Van der Beek doesn't play in this game, if he doesn't start this game, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just has so much on him, because obviously he's been playing them recently. We are all hopeful now that he'll get more game time. He didn't play against PSG for me, which was weird, but if he doesn't start this game, I think, as a Manchester United player, I don't think he does belong here, in my opinion. So hopefully we see him. I'm praying we do, because we need him in our team. You see how much he helps in our midfield going forward and at the back, so hopefully he does start. So I'm going to go with Van der Beek and Fred, obviously Bruno and down the middle. And this is a tricky one, because does Martial get in a team? With his inconsistency, I know the players are all behind him and the manager's probably behind him to turn this bad form into good form. But it's hard, because do I want to play on the left or up front? Do I think we'll go with that? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go with Martial on the left, Bruno in the central, on the right Rashford, and up front Cavani. I feel Rashford playing him on the right he's better on the right than he is on the left, is what I'm trying to say, really. I think he provides more. He prefers it on the right, because it makes sense playing a left-footed player, right-footed player on the right, because he can turn, he can develop, and he can have easier chances. So we'll have to see how he gets on in that position, and hopefully he can improve there and get better there, because I do think he is a better player on the right. But then up front, Edison Cavani as well. So my team going into the game is De Gea in there. Left back, I'm going to play Teles, centre-back Maguire, and Lindelof, right-back Ramsaka, Van der Beek and Fred, and Bruno on the left, Martial on the right, Rashford, and up front Cavani. So tell me your thoughts on that team down below. It's pretty similar to the one we saw in midweek against PSG, obviously without McTominay, but I'm expecting to see something similar to that. But I don't want to start this game how we did against PSG, trying to defend, not having much of the ball, letting the other team have all the possession, and, pushing us back, because I do not want to see us doing that, because as you saw in that PSG game, it does cause us trouble, and we do go behind early, and we don't have much attacking threat. So hopefully we do go into the game, our press is much better than it was. Hopefully we can create more going forward and more earlier, and try and open the scoring, because recently in a lot of Premier League games we always go behind, and you could say we're better when we go behind, because we need to wake up in those games, and when we do go behind, we do wake up and we do play better and go on to win the game or get a result, at least a draw. So I want to go in front this time. I want to go in front and just hammer West Ham. If you score one, go for a second, go for a third, because we've seen in the past Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he gets one goal and he just tells the team to sit back and try and guard that. Not for me, because Manchester United need to be attacking all the time. I know we're away from home, so you want to try and guard that result, but for me, if we see West Ham on the ropes, which we can, because I don't think their best position is the defence, because you can target Ogbonna, you can target Balbuena, I think his name is, but they do have some tricky wingers in Kufau and Masuaku, who will cause us problems, so we're going to have to watch out for them. But I do think we can get behind this West Ham defence, and I do think we can score goals. I know we've had tricky times against them before, but I do think that we can get a result going into this one. But let's talk about a bit about West Ham. Their threats, obviously Antonio, if he does play, I don't know if he's injured. I think I saw him went off recently, but I'm pretty sure he'll play this game. You got the likes of Declan Rice, who personally I don't rate, but as a West Ham player, I think he is one of the better ones. You got Mark Noble in that midfield. He's always a leader. You got Ben Rama from Brentford, who's been causing a bit of problems to other teams recently. A really good signing for me. And also, we've got Jarrod Bowen from Hull. He joined as well. So, they got some really, really good players that can hurt us on the attack. And, with our defence, there's going to be chances for West Ham. So, we're going to have to try and defend well and block out the likes of Antonio, Benrahma and Jarrod Bowen, who will always try and go forward, always try and create chances, and always try and test the keeper. So, it's going to be a really tricky game. West Ham have started really well this season. I think they're unbeaten in 3 games. They got some really good results as well. They drew against Chelsea. They lost to Arsenal. They lost to City, but no, they drew to City, didn't they? I'm not sure about that one. I think they drew to City, but they may have lost to City at the same time. I think they lost, but, I'm not too sure. Now I was watching that game, but I can't remember. But, they've had a good start to the season. They sit 5th in the table, but, Manchester United will have to kick on in this game. We'll have to get 3 points, and we'll have to keep on climbing up the table and, keep it going, because our next few fixtures include West Ham, the Manchester derby, which will be interesting to see. Obviously, no fans for that, which is disappointing. And then we have Sheffield and then Leeds. So 2 games there. Leeds and City, who will be tough games. I want to win both of those, especially against Leeds as well, who I can't stand. So, we'll have to see what happens. But my score predictions going into the game, I'm going to go with 2-0 Manchester United. I'm being confident here. I don't know if I should be, but with the form I have recently, with the results we're getting, and the form we have in the Premier League, I do think we'll continue that. But don't count me out on that, because there's a possibility we can lose against West Ham. But tell me what you guys think down below. Leave your score predictions. Make sure to drop a like on the video, and I'll be there with an instant match reaction after the game.